Van life after 70. Is it realistic? Is it practical? And should you do it? So I'm going to introduce you to the two individuals who are going to be sharing their experiences. Both of them are full-time van lifers. Lindy from
L.A.V.A, Lindy's awesome van adventure.
And over here is
Nice and simple, Skoplie Carol.
all righty. And can you ladies, would you, I know it's not polite to ask a lady her age, but would you mind if I ask you for our viewers?
I'm going to be 76 this year.
All right, and
This is a fun one because I told Lindy I was older than her. She went, no, you're not.
No.
But we are so close.
But I'm older.
I'm 74 and a half.
Okay.
okay, all right, that sounds like kindergarten. I'm 5.5. Okay.
No, that's, I
Okay.
love it when kids do that.
This is what it's like when you van life after 70.
Yeah.
You go back to kindergarten.
I know.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Okay, all right, so let's get into a few serious topics. First of all, before we do that, Lindy, how long have you been doing this full time?
A little over a year and a half, around a year and a half.
And what are you in?
I'm in a Chevy van,
Okay.
cargo van.
And do you travel? We have a little wind, so please bear with us because the wind. Do you travel around, or do you stay stationary in the city, or what is your...
I'm stationary in a city
Okay, but you're planning and hoping to eventually...
to go on the road. Yeah,
Okay.
to travel. Yes.
And Carol, are you stationary? And how long, first of all, how long have you been in your
3 years.
and what are you in?
An old beat up schoolie bus.
Okay, that's psychedelic yellow and psychedelic curtains.
Correct.
All right. And so both of you have considerable amount of experience, and you started based on your telling us how old you are after 70. So let me ask you something. I'll start with you, Lindy. What are some of the things that you, first of all, is it practical, do you think, even though you're doing it, is it practical to be a van lifer after 70?
Yes.
And why do you say that?
Because I think that you should get out and live your life to the fullest. And van life is an adventure.
Okay.
And it's something new, and I think we should be trailblazers.
And Carol, what do you think?
Yeah, like that word, trailblazer. Very doable, but I really did my homework and my research.
Mm-hmm.
I got all my facts down before I started. I wanted to do it right.
All right, so you didn't just say, oh, one day, oh, I want to do van life and get a rig and then jump out into the road.
No, except I did a whole bunch of this in the 60s.
Okay, all right. So this is not a new lifestyle to you,
Full time is a new lifestyle.
but being on the road and traveling in a vehicle and living or spending nights in vehicles is not new.
Not at all.
But it is different, you know, it's very different just traveling for a couple of days or even a couple of weeks and living full time. What are some of the preparations that, well, what are some of the things that are different when you're 70 versus at 20 or 30, would you say, Lindy?
I have to talk about the toilet.
Okay, well,
Okay, I mean that was a priority for me because
Okay.
it's hard at this age to get up from a toilet.
okay,
So my toilet had to be a certain height.
right.
That's why
And-
you don't use them.
See, that's her opinion. This is my time.
Okay. All right, ladies. Okay, so
So that was a priority.
that was a priority. And also at this age, if you're anything like me, you kind of don't usually or may not go through the whole night without having to get up.
Right, every 2 or 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, and
What?
okay, so it is something that there's something that the toilet is it takes on a whole different meaning and importance when you're an older person.
It does, yes. So for me, okay, everybody's different, but for me, it was a priority, and weight is the other priority because as I get older, I can't lift as much.
Okay, so you can't have really heavy objects in your van.
That's right.
All right. So what about for you, Skoplie Carol? What are things for you that after 70 you think are more of a challenge and say, well, you did this before. So how is it different doing it now at this age than it was doing it before?
Not a whole lot for me.
No?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it. For some it is, and some it's not. For me, it is a lot different. And I think for most people, it would be a lot different. So let me ask you this. How about in terms of financial? You know, when you're younger, you know, you can maybe work 40, 60, 80. I mean, I remember I had weeks I worked 80 hours. You know, as a 70-some-year older, I don't know how practical that is and if it's even possible. What about you, Lindy?
Well, I normally work 20 to 22 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
And during Christmas, I was working 30 to 40. And it was difficult. It was, for me,
Mm-hmm.
for just me,
Right.
it tired me out. I was usually just sleeping and working.
So the option of working long hours as an older person is more challenging. The option of working, and if you get low on funds, working long hours can be a challenge. Or the type of job. What about for you? Even the type of job, is that a challenge right now for you, Skoplie Carol?
I do very, very physical labor.
Well, I know you did the Beet Harvest.
Twice,
When's the last time you did it?
just last year.
Okay. So it depends. It depends. So we have a variety here. And, you know, for me, I thought about doing the Beet Harvest, but I thought I would last about 2 hours and that would be it. So I think, you know, it depends on what your tolerance level is. Now, as far as how you came to be in van life at 70 or on the road as a nomad at 70, you know, as far as financial, we've talked before, Carol, and you were saying that there was a financial component in your decision to go on the road after 70. What was that? Can you share that?
The financial part was I was living in Salt Lake City and the rents were going up, almost to the California level.
Mm-hmm.
And I was lucky and I had a dear friend and he said, I don't think you know your options, Carol. Right now your option is you will spend almost your whole Social Security check on your rent.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do you buy your food and your gas and your insurance and that stuff? I guess, gee, maybe you'll have to work 40 hours a week till you drop dead.
Wow.
He said, let's do a conversion. Let's find you something that he said, you know, in my case, he said, you're so independent and you love to travel. Let's just do it. Let's just get you a vehicle.
So, Lindy, what about for you? I know you had said that finance was a consideration that went into your decision. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, it was the same with me. The rents kept going up. But also, I really wanted a last adventure. That's a big part of this whole thing is
Mm-hmm.
a last adventure, because I don't know how long my health will hold out. And I want to be able to travel. I'm not because I'm working, but I wanted to enjoy this life. It's so different from sitting at home
Right.
and sticks and bricks.
And as you get older, have you two found this or not? I found that when you're just sitting at home or when you're stationary, you tend not to meet quite as many people. But when you're on the road, it's just, what about for you, Carol, on the road as far as meeting people?
I would agree with you. It is like night and day.
Okay, and explain that a little bit.
Well, I was living in a large apartment complex and yeah, people just, you know, like you were saying, they get up, they go to work, they come home, they go with their family or their kids or their friends and just do their thing. And you're lucky if you get to even say hi, how are you today? It's like, I don't know, people don't have time or they're not interested. But yeah, on the road, it's just been wild.
Well, people seem to have a whole different mindset when they're on the road. They're open. You make instant friendships almost.
Yes, instant connections.
Yes, instant connections. And people on the road seem to be more open to talking and sharing and
I agree with you 100%. And it's got to have something to do with that you're not in this, you know, rigid schedule anymore.
So I'm going to ask, is it, and Lindy, I'll ask you this, do you think it's like the chicken before the egg or the egg before the chicken? Do you think that it's the road makes people more open to relationships, or the kind of people who are open to the road would be more open to relationships? What do you think, Lindy?
Well, I would be guessing, but I think the people who are more available to be open to road travel and van life are friendlier. They're going to want to meet people. That's why they're out there.
Because they're adventurous.
Yes, it's an adventure.
So you're meeting a whole different type of person too, in addition to that.
Yes.
So far, we've talked about what your experiences have been in the present. So I'm going to ask both of you, do you have a plan B? Because if you're out here long enough, there's a distinct possibility that there may come a time that the DMV will not renew your license.
Right.
And do either or both of you have a plan? What will you do when that time comes? Carol?
I have a brand new plan B because Mr. Wonderful Randy Jones is down here at the big tent, and he's with ITH.
Incredible Tiny Homes, yes.
Incredible Tiny Homes, and he has incredible tiny prices.
Right, he does.
And I'm seriously, right now I'm probably 95% I'm going to buy one.
And then you'll be in one of his communities?
You don't have to. You can.
No, but would you go into one of his communities?
Yes, because I've done once again, I did my research and my homework. I know every community he has.
Right.
And you can pick and choose a little bit. Some are already full. I just think I would flourish there, but I would still travel.
Right. But it does seem like the people who gravitate towards his communities are the kind of people who are friendly and open to building friendships.
I've watched so many interviews on his channel, and you are right. They are very friendly, very open. Everybody says, hello, how are you? Can I help you with anything? I mean, everybody does that there.
Right.
And it's a beautiful area. I've researched the whole area.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, like Lindy said, just for me, it could be close to perfect because I would probably trade the bus in for a van.
Oh, yeah.
And no, I would still
because you wouldn't need as big a vehicle since it's not going to be a home anymore.
I would still travel.
Okay. So you'd have the best of both worlds.
I would have the best of both worlds.
How about you, Lindy? Do you have a plan B?
Oh yeah, and I'm the same, incredible tiny homes, but I wouldn't move to one of their communities. My son's been researching, trying to find a house with property, and he wants to move a tiny home on the property behind the house so he can help take care of it.
Okay.
When I get older.
So you both, it sounds like you really are very wise in that you're looking ahead. Mm-hmm. You're enjoying the moment, you're enjoying today, but you're looking ahead for the future. Because when you're in your mid-70s, you really do have to look ahead.
Yeah,
you have to have plan B.
You have to know what your limits are.
Yeah. Family, friends, connections.
So in closing, what would each of you want to say to anyone who's considering taking this lifestyle on at 70? Lindy, you first.
I would say do your homework. I spent about 5 years researching and looking into things and learning solar and all that before I even began this process. So you need your homework and you need to believe that you can do it.
Okay.
That would be my advice, but do it. I think you should do it if you want.
What do you think about trying it out first?
Oh, always try it. I tell everybody, try it out for a week or a month. Don't get rid of your house. Don't do anything until you've tried it out.
Okay. And
always.
Thank you, Lindy. And what about you, Carol?
I think it boils down to knowing yourself, and the two main components I would say are if you have the health and finances, do it, do it, do it.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you very much. And we're going to end this session. Thank you so much for tuning in to listen to Lava Lindy and Skoplie Carol talk about their experiences in van life after 70. If you are going to be in Quartzsite this winter and you want to be featured on Glorious Life on Wheels and you're over 70, hit me up at gloriouslifeonwheels@gmail.com. I can't answer everyone because I get so many emails, but I may be able to get in contact with you and maybe we can do a feature of you on my channel. But have a great day. If you want more content like this, leave a note in the comments letting me know. And may your journeys be filled with joy and blessings. And stay tuned, because I have some amazing videos of some fabulous people that I met in Quartzsite during my meetup and around and about town, of all ages. And I think you're going to really enjoy hearing some of their stories and seeing their fabulous rigs. So till next time, see you down the road.